Live. Hold up. Let's see. All right, we live. We live. Where the song at, man? We gotta get you. We gotta get that as a keyboard. Ah, we gotta make sure we ain't. Well, you own the copyright to this.
Yes, sir. We handle our business.
Oh, I should have told you to share it to your wall, to your personal page. It's on your pan page though. All right, there you go. There you go. We got three. What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Life is good, guys.
Well, let me introduce the show. Welcome everybody to the HUSL Hour, soon to be changed to something else. We ain't figured it out yet. We're gonna do that within the coming weeks. I am the host, DeTravius, Bethea, aka the Deacon. I got the Bishop, aka Charlie Bingham Jr., aka $. What is King Bingham? That's his what you think is not up?
The King Bingham.
The King Bingham. the Cashapp. Today's sponsors, we got the regular sponsors. So you don't got the book. What's the name of the book, brother? And where can they get it?
The Death of Mr. Good Game, My Struggle to Get Sober. It's at www.thedeathofmrgoodgame.com.
We got the good brother Corey Rashard Bowens, aka Monkey Blood, checking in with the first comment. What's going on, brother? And the show is also sponsored by 101 credit tips. So please, people, I'll have this ebook out. It's gonna the link is right here. If you use this link, it's called social.dbethea.com/credit. You will get a discount on the purchase if you use that link. Please, people, get your credit in order. Your personal credit, you're not going to be able to do a lot of things in business or get business credit for if your personal credit is not straight, or you get money, but you're going to pay more for the money. And please don't go out and paying these people hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix your credit, because if you really want to put in unless you don't want to put in the work to fix your credit, then you pay somebody to fix it. But really, a lot of that stuff is just sending up the credit bureau's letters and getting your credit report and see what's on it. Then if it's accurate, there's nothing you can do about it, Jesse. but if it ain't, you could get it taken off with some simple text. But what's going on, bro? So congrats to your
Ninjas.
Congrats to your Bucks, man. So let's go before we get deep. Let's go into the pop culture. The number one thing for you, I know, is the finals, man. Your boy Giannis won it.
We get Bucks. The cheese heads, the Bucks is all about money. My boy Giannis went in there, man. I had a great time watching that game. I actually went out and watched it, told the wife, look, I want to be around some people from Milwaukee because I got a good feeling we're going to win this. So I left after the first quarter. Even though we was losing, I was like, okay, they done got slapped in the face. They realized you got to take this. It ain't going to be given to you. This is a national championship. Chris Paul ain't going to lay down. And I'll be dog if Giannis didn't take it, man. Y'all would have been cracking up. Because every time Giannis got the ball down low and dunked on somebody, I jumped up, did his little pose, walking around like, ninjas, them some little Jessies. They ain't ready. You know, the people was looking at me like I'm crazy. Of course, I'm draped in the Giannis jersey and doing my thing. So it was a good time, brother. I think we earned it. For me, that was one of the best finals I've seen in a while. It wasn't necessarily about the refs, even though they was trying to cheat my boy. But they went in there and forced them and made them take it, call the fouls. And then my boy was hitting free throws. Like,
yeah, he went crazy. He went crazy in the free throws.
My boy went crazy. I want a 50-piece nugget. Not 49, not 51, not 52, but 50. How can you hate Giannis, man? He's like a big old kid that just realized his dreams. And because he comes from such humble beginnings,
yeah,
like, he appreciates that stuff. I love it, man.
Yeah, man. I was rooting for I wanted Chris Paul to get that shit, man, but I can't blame it on playing. Giannis was just too much. I was what's funny when we were having the pre-show conversations, we talking about super teams, we're gonna get into that. What's funny is like how we have everybody's armchair coach, armchair player, armchair ref, And it's like, yo, like how they let him do get 50 points? Like, yo, bro, they ain't let him get 50 points. He took it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't let somebody drop 50 points on you. You know what I mean?
Right. He took it like a G.
He took it like, yo, you can't stop people from. He was like, yo, they should have built the wall around. Like, yo, bro, like, yo, it's people that's on the coaching staff that gets paid millions of dollars to figure out these decisions. They got way more information than we have. They got way more stats. This is what they do daily. You don't think they talked about the best strategy, and you don't think they implemented the best strategy in NBA Finals?
He said, F your strategy. Give me the ball. I'm going down low. I'm about to eat. And that's exactly what he did. I couldn't be prouder, man. Because, that was a clear example of somebody taking what they wanted. He took that.
But let's pause for the moment because, bro, what you darker than me right now. So you might just
man, I can't help the camera, man. I can't help the camera. We'll get in. Let me shine some lights, some bling bling. Maybe it'll fix up the adjustment.
Yeah, you're gonna have to face the wall. So that
there we go. Look, see, just a little bling bling. Wait, I'm speaking of bling bling. Show them your bling bling. We getting right round here.
Yeah,
look, we got hit the Cashapp. Man, you want your ambassadors to look good, don't you?
You gotta be on our what's homie name? Cleflo Dollar. Yo, you know what I'm saying? We need the private jet and everything. But let's go into this thing about this idea of super team because he took you said he wasn't taking the shot. I feel like he was taking the shot. Because in the pre-show we talked about
saying basically I got it out the mud. I've been with Chris Middleton. I think it's a story where Chris Middleton, when he first came in, was basically punking him in practice. And Giannis was like, you know what? I'm going to get stronger, and I'm finna take this Jesse minutes. Like, there's a quote out there where he said that. That was his mindset. Like, he was going to take minutes from Chris. And so to build it up and to go through all of the, if you don't know, if you followed the Bucks, one of the things that a lot of Milwaukee people said, myself included, was Chris Middleton ain't worth no max contract. Like, if that Jesse want to go, let that Jesse go. We get somebody else. But Milwaukee decided to pay him. And I think Giannis has something to do with that. Unlike Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Giannis went to bat for his boy because they had been through the bad times. That was a shot.
This was shot.
Shout at Jordan, man. Like, the things that we learning now is like, man, you fell all the way off that pedestal, bro. I don't care how many points you scored. You'll never be LeBron. I rock with him. Man. We different on that.
Yeah. Now I rock with LeBron. What you mean? That LeBron?
I thought you was in that hater LeBron.
Nah, the 6. I call them the 6 and O's.
Oh,
6 and O. Yeah. Nah. So let's talk about this concept of super team though, because I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with a super team. I don't think that's is anything wrong with. And let me be wrong. One, there's always been super teams, right? So it's either been player developed super teams or it's been owners developed super teams. Personally, me being the ninja that I am, I'm all for players team. Like why would I stay here with you and you don't know what you're doing? And nobody's gonna come here, and I'm not gonna win nothing here when I can go team up with somebody and get a ring. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my perception of it. Like at the end of the day,
it's similar opinions, bro. I'm with you. You just stated some facts. It's always been super teams. It was either Boston or the Lakers, but they always had it like at least three all-stars. You go back to them Boston squads, some of them had 4 and 5 all-stars starting. It wasn't until LeBron came and people wanted to hate on them and the media started this hating thing to where it became a problem with super teams. And I think you touched on it. It's because LeBron engineered that. It wasn't the owners. So they never like when we get power. So that's a message to all you LeBron haters out there. Know why you hating the man and know who done caused you to hate the man. Like the mass media can manipulate you and you might be weak-minded if you hate LeBron. I'm just going to go on the record and say that. Fight me. Date your mama.
Nah, I don't personally, I don't see why. I get why people hate on LeBron from the sense of if they came up on Jordan, because like, yo, at the end of the day, Like if you came up in Jordan, it's the same reason you think the rap music from your childhood, your teenage years is the best. The music period from your teenage years is the best. The movies period, because it's that time when your mind is developing and that's who you're looking up to when they're doing their thing, and you just think everything that was made back then is the best. Like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, I don't even think it's actually a close debate, honestly, but that's just me. But we don't even got going there. So I was just going in. So I thought we was going to disagree on a little bit, because I was like, in what situations do we don't want to be on a super team outside, or we have an issue?
We just read. What we just read about the title of 50 Cent: Hustle Smarter, Hustle Harder.
Harder, yeah.
What Damian Lillard is doing is hustling harder. And yeah, when you done hustle harder, it's gonna feel greater when you achieve it, just like Giannis. But I'd rather be the super team and get like 6-7 rings in a row. KD, I can't hate him. He weak. KD is different to me. Like when you get beat by the team and then you leave your family to go join the other game, to me, that's some cowardly crap. That'll get you taken out in the hood. You don't leave immediately and you had them down 3-1, and you was the reason why your team lost. I don't know if I remember that game vividly. Dude was dribbling it off his foot. It was almost like he was trying to throw the game. And then of course Russell Westbrook catch all the flack. That still don't sit well with me. But I digress, because that get me in my emotions.
Yeah, and I was about to say. So I thought we was going because we was like, save it for the record. I thought we was going to have a different take. Yeah, man. I was like, I don't know when you don't want to be on a super team. Whether if you working for corporate America, you building your team. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, like you want the best people to rock with you. I don't know why it's such a taboo thing in sports. Knowing that there's always been super teams, is that the owners created it. As soon as the players created it, it's a problem now. It's like, why is it a problem? Because the players doing it versus the owner. That might be some slave mentality. Let me put my whole tip hat on.
Look, you never heard of super teams when Karl Malone, Gary Payton, and I think they didn't have Steve Nash, but they joined the Lakers. Never heard of it when Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce got together. It was only because of LeBron, and some simple-minded people, again, debate your mama, don't even recognize that it was the media and the talking heads that made you, realize, think about this concept of the super team, and you attached it with LeBron. And then it was negative because they was always hating on LeBron. They never want a brother to have power.
What's the name? Even nobody talks about that Jordan, that Jordan second three-peat team was a super team.
Rodman, cool coach. Who else they go? Man, they got all kinds of players. It's only because of LeBron. I need people to understand that when you hear super team, think hating on LeBron because he actually did it and screwed his owner. Well, he ain't screw his owner. His owner was being cheap, and he just said, all right, I'm out. He was hustling smarter. It's funny because the Smart Cuts book called that lateral movement.
Lateral movement. Oh, that's it. Let's do that book next. Even though we both read it, let's do that one next week. Smart Cuts. All right, I'm going to put that in the notes.
All right. You looking good, brother. I just want to say that, I believe in giving flowers. This your bouquet right there. You're looking good.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
The chain looks good on you too, brother. And the hat. You're looking good. Bling, bling.
Thank you. We all need to hear that sometime. So we also talk about this. You looking good too, man. Where you at? Well, you on undisclosed location, or you gonna tell people where you at?
I'm thinking of something witty to say. I know there's a Drake line. He say something, we won't galore more than Lyra galore or something like that. Then he says something about a resort. I don't remember what he said, but we undisclosed right now.
We undisclosed. All right, so let's get into this. We was talking about this idea of victimhood. I don't know if we had this on the record before. We definitely talked about it in this idea, and I was like, I don't identify with victimhood. That's why I had to get off social media a lot. And so let me ask you, what's your stance on victimhood? How do you define it? How do you understand it? How does it play out in your life or not? Before I go into my little rant,
I see it as seeing yourself as a victim, kind of woe is me mentality, which gives you something to complain about instead of thinking about how you can go and change your situation. I see it. I think it's hereditary. I talk to my wife about it all the time.
You said it's hereditary? You think it's hereditary?
I do. I think it's a learned behavior. How about that?
It is. Yeah.
It is a learned behavior. And if your parents have it, then it could be passed on to you. And I think victimhood is a way for some people to get attention. It puts the spotlight on you. Woe is me because of whatever. And a lot of times, and the victims will blame circumstances, and it's always what somebody else has done to them, not necessarily their choices. And I think it could start, it's just my analysis as a parent, husband, brother, son, and all of that. I think you could see it in little kids. When little kids fall, you know, they scrape their knee or whatever, I think science shows that if a parent don't pay attention or tell them to get up, or, you know, they say telling your child man up is toxic, so we won't do that, but kind of turn their head and don't baby them. Oh,
nah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Man up.
Right. If your response is different, then the child will not cry. But if the first thing you do is run and what's wrong, then the child gonna find something wrong, and they learn that this is the way to get attention. If I'm crying or something's happened to me, I'm the victim. Not you shouldn't have been running around the pool. It's I hurt my foot, I stubbed my foot, and so now I'm hurting and I'm the victim and I'm gonna get this attention. So kind of those are my thoughts, but I think you can also unlearn it by being cognizant of, all right, when I feel like I'm being the victim, what's going on? And what can I do to change it? So that's just my quick thought right there.
It's funny. Well, I feel like you read the article I just read. So I read the article before I got on the live, maybe like an hour. I always be reading something. Because I read the article about victimhood, and I saved it in my Pocket. You use Pocket?
I don't.
Yeah, so Pocket is just software that you use. It's an app too. That you just save articles that you want to read later on, and you can just come back to them and read them. You can highlight them and all that type of stuff. So I saved it in Pocket, like I think it was last week, and I just got to it today. And it basically said everything you said. I'm like, damn, this joker must have read it or wrote it. So, but it was like, and it's backed by science, and it was saying it's a learned behavior. And different cultures have different levels of it, and is a way to take the spotlight. I mean, to blame other people. I don't know if you said that or not, but like, it was also saying that victims, they have a hard time. If they are rooted in victimhood, the deeper they're rooted in their victimhood, they have a hard time identifying when they are causing other people to be victims. When they are victimizing people, like they don't necessarily get it. And it was just like, I think we talked about this. Like I said, I don't know if we talked about it here or again, we're gonna repeat it. Now this is like the reason why I got off of social media, multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is like I just don't identify with victimhood and outrage like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of people like I see, and that's why I don't necessarily rock with Talcum X. They call him Talcum X. So that's one of his many names, your boy, because I feel like he's eating off victimhood, and that's all he promotes, and that's just not something I'm into. And we going into like this perception, like if you always perceiving yourself as a victim, like you're never looking for solutions, in my opinion. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you want, like you said, you want woe is me, you want the energy to be on me, you want people to focus on you, and it's like, but what can you do? We're all victims of something. You know what I'm saying? Right. At the end of the day. So it's really like, how do you get outside of your victimhood status to achieve? And I do think it's cultural, man. I think, unfortunately, it's real heavy in the Jesse community, man. And it's like
it's been passed down as that's why they like to teach us slavery. You was the victim there and stay there. You can't pull yourself up out of your situation. And that's why some of them conservatives that's been, indoctrinated by the Huckabee doctrine, that's why they always say, well, just pull yourselves up by the bootstrap. That's the clear sign of a coon. You remember the pizza man who passed away from COVID because he was stumping for Trump and was sitting with all the 5 black people at the whole rally, and then you mess around and get COVID and die. He was one of them that was like, I guess he was successful over a bunch of pizza chains or whatever. But he was like, you got to pull yourselves up by the bootstrap. Don't be a victim and this and that, and the man ain't got you down. And Herman Cain, you go.
Cain,
Herman Cain. I seen his picture in my head, like that Jesse. He reminded me of the guy from The Simpsons, the evil boss with the long nose and the hairpiece. Yeah. Herman Cain and the glasses. But I mean, yeah, man, I think it's definitely been passed on, and as a people, we got to break that and say, look.
But aren't we saying what he's saying, but not as harshly though? Pick yourself up by the bootstraps.
No, we're not saying that. We acknowledging, to some extent, to be a victim, you've been done wrong, but you don't have to stay there. All right, figure out how you was done wrong. Who was the person that did you wrong? And then you play chess, not checkers. All right, I got you. I'm gonna maneuver around you. I see you are bad people now, but I'm still gonna walk in my purpose and get what I'm supposed to get out of this life. But I'm just gonna avoid you, and I will not trust you. I think it was Nipsey in one of his songs say they were taught to have a healthy mistrust for Huckabees. Of course, he didn't use Huckabees. And one of the other principles that he learned that kind of goes with that is never touch a shell casing. You find a shell casing on the ground, don't ever touch it. Because them Jessies, you might throw it away. Them Jessies might use that to come and put a case on you. Later on, you just got the shell casing, like, and you think about young innocent kids that may not know that, but that's one of the principles you learn when you growing up in the jungle.
Yeah. It's funny. This dude that showed me my first gun ever. Well, that was my age that showed me my first gun ever. We was like, he ended up getting killed. We were like, I had to be like 10. My cousin had passed. So I was like 11 years old. I done told this on the podcast. I never told it here, I don't think. So he had his mom was, I ain't gonna put his mom out there, but he had got a gun, right? So it was like I believe it was a 25, right? So he came to my house and he had it. So we lived in a six apartment building, 6-family apartment building. So he lived across the street in like this nice house. The lady that still owned it, she was still there. And it was like the nicest house on the block because she was white. She was old and white. She'd been there forever, right? She kept it up. So he brought it and we was in the hallway and he was like, yo, look what I got. Look what I got. So like looking at it. So he was like holding it. And I was like, yo, you know what? I don't even know what made me think of this at that age. I said, yo, let me wipe this down, yo.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I was like, yo, let me go hold up real quick. I had my little t-shirt on, yo. Let me wipe this down because I don't know what you about to do with this gun. We was young as hell. We was like 11 years old, man. 11.
I got a true story for you. You were smart. I've known a Jesse that intentionally did that just to get the prints. Just to get the prints on it. Like, oh yeah, y'all look at this. Y'all, you want to handle it? Go ahead, touch it. Then I noticed, but you gonna wrap it up in the towel. You didn't touch it after they touched it. You just wrap it up in the towel.
Oh, like, wow.
Yeah, cruddy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. I didn't even know where I don't even know why. My man Corey said the first guy to show me a gun got killed 2 years later. Yeah. This guy, he got killed years later. He got killed right when I started law school. 1 year, he got killed. That's my boy growing up.
To be here.
Yeah, R.I.P. Terrell, man. He showed me the gun. I heard he ended up running the block and all that, but that's a whole different story we can talk about on another one, another episode. But yeah, man, he showed me the gun. So where was I going with it? Oh, you threw me off with the shell.
Basically, don't trust them. And if you run across bad people, we talking about victimhood. Yeah. We've been the victim of some injustices, but you don't have to stay the victim. When people show you who they are, believe them. So if somebody gets you once, what's the saying? Shame on them. Yeah, they didn't have the morals. They get you twice. Yeah. Shame on you, you big dummy. You big dummy. I think that applies to our community. Like, we should know by now. Don't trust them. I wish Jai, we got to get Jai on the podcast. He'd be
a good host. He'd be a good guest on me.
Oh man, Jai could go. He could talk. Yeah, the mayor of LA in Inglewood.
Yeah, nah, he got what's name. It's funny because like it took me a long time because I can say always. I generally like to see the best in people, but like you gotta believe people for who they are, man. Like when they show you like yo, that's who they are, you gotta believe them, man. And you gotta adjust. You can't expect them. That's another thing. You can't expect them to change. You gotta change the way how you gonna. If you're gonna keep dealing with them, you're gonna have to change the way you deal with them, or you're just gonna have to cut them off. You can't expect them to change, man, because people, for the most part, people mature. I ain't gonna even say that. People get older. They don't necessarily change, man. Especially if it's not change out is a conscious effort. You know what I'm saying? Like I see your metamorphosis. You know what I'm saying? Like your change, like that's a constant effort. Like it's intentional. It's not something that you just sit back and be like, yo, I'm going to change. Like, nah, you're not going to change. You're just going to just get strengthened in the status quo if you're not changing.
Yep.
Oh, I felt like that was a bar. Hold on. Let's get this.
You're not gonna check. Hit the Cash App. Yeah, that's that. You just dropped the gem right there. Look, it took me a minute. I was like, hold on. You're not gonna change. You're just gonna stay, keep the status. Like, oh yeah. That's one of them where you say you'll get that on the way home.
Well, yeah, you get that on the way. Yo, hit that Cash App.
But like my preacher say, y'all don't know when to run around the church and shout.
So we got the finals, the victimhood
refresh trip.
Huh?
Refresh trip, right?
A refresh trip. Oh, perception versus reality. We kind of sort of went into that.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, let's get into that. Yeah, perception. We talked about this multiple times though, but I'm realizing the older I get, I'm really realizing like, obviously, I'm speaking from. I have the benefit, the privilege of being an American, right? Being born and raised in the United States of America. But I'm starting to really realize like a lot of this stuff is based on your perception. Like perception is everything, bro. Like if you really going back to the victimhood, if you see yourself as a victim, like you're always going to be looking at the world through victimhood lenses. If you see yourself as, just say like a Kanye, yo, I heard this dude did a concert, sold out three shows, and all he did was play music. Yo, he didn't even perform. He did a listening part.
Around. I saw that. It had, and he did. I think he did one in Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Atlanta. But in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, they say he just walked around with the light on him. Didn't say no words.
He didn't say no words at all.
I think just like 50 Cent. We read his book last week, and I had to admit I thought he was just crazy, but he actually was a genius. I think when it's all said and done, we're gonna recognize that Kanye West was a genius, and he found a way to stay on the top of our minds, even if we didn't like him.
Yeah,
and in his business, that's good business.
Yeah. Oh, so that which goes to the point of perception, because like if you see the old videos before, Kanye was saying he was that dude back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, and apparently he believed it. He manifested. So like, why wouldn't he say like? So it comes to a part. I tell the kids too. Like I tell kids, adults also is like why would you root yourself into being average? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people just going, huh?
Less than
like, yo, why would you feel that way about yourself? Regardless of what other people see outside of you, why would you feel that way about yourself? And the perception thing came up this week because I was on vacation, undisclosed location, but but I'm back now. We was dealing with I was talking to my wife about like how these people identify themselves, right? And they identify themselves as white, but in the continental US, they're not white. Like they would be people of color, but it's like that their perception is based on the history of their country and their family, right? So they don't have the history of the one drop rule. So why would they think they themselves are people of color when they really have more white blood than anything? But because they got the one drop rule in America, we be like, yo, they're people of color. Like they would be blank. And it's just like, I think we have the privilege and the duty. I'm gonna say we even have the duty in America, especially as black people, right? And especially as black men too. Black people, period. It's everybody, but especially us, like to really be challenging the perceptions that we hold and we should be actively trying to change those perceptions, because the world will tell black men that they ain't ish all day, every day. And we do it ourselves too. Like you listen to our music, you know what I'm saying? Although I love I love ignorant rap music, but it's like, yo, like no other culture embraces the self-destructive behavior, man. And that's based on how we see ourselves, man.
No,
did I preach enough on that one? Yeah.
You preached a little bit. No, yeah, I'm with you. As a people, we got to start seeing ourselves as kings and queens. And I agree with you. I use the term for my little girl and my little boy. Don't ever see yourself as less than anybody. And you're right. Kanye manifested that crap. He knew it was coming. It was almost, it made me think of, was it Charlie Murphy or Dave Chappelle who said they should have never gave you Jesse's money? I'm going to go on the record and let you know. Well, for the people who grabbed the book, you understand a lot of what woke me up and made me kind of start my struggle to get sober was I looked around and realized, man, I'm better than this. And that was because of a seed that my mom planted in me since I was a little boy. And I tell people, you know, looking back, it might have kind of, to some extent, screwed me up in my perception as well when we talk about perception versus reality, because she always told me, you a king. No matter how poor I was, you a king. And she used to say, you rich in spirit. We was broke, but she'd always say, but we rich in spirit. Whenever we went to complaining about not having no money, you know how you need like $1.50 for the field trip so you could get a bag of chips and maybe like a hostess or something. Like, nah, man, I'd be the kid out there. So you mean I gotta hustle? You know, I'm the kid that's asking, you want to share? Oh, I trade you this, so I'll tell you a secret. you understand? And mom worked hard to try to give me everything, but every time we would complain about being broke in some way or some fashion, the counter was always, but you rich in spirit. That goes to like that victimhood thing. And I tell my kids that now before they go to bed, they already know. For Trey, I tell him he a big boy because I've been telling him since he little, you're a big boy, you're a king, and you're a child of God, and you can do anything you set your mind to. For Carly, you're a big girl, you're a queen, you're a and they have to say it. That's why them affirmations is so key, because if you perceive yourself as something, I've learned this myself. Even being broke, when you and you know, we use this term fake it till you make it, but for the people out there, you try this. Let there be a line somewhere. Let there be, you know, strict conditions about getting into the club or whatever it is. You walk a restaurant, you walk in there like you own the place and you ain't worried about nothing. And you just get all fear out of your mind.
That's a trick.
You keep your eyes focused on your purpose. Hey man, 9 times out of 10, you in that joint, and I lived it. So you know my perception has become my reality. Oh, you don't want me here? It's fine. I take my money somewhere else. But for the most part, white t-shirts, whatever, I could go where I want, just how I am.
Well, it's funny because it's funny how parenting is a huge part of things, right? So Vonnie Zen said, "How you see it." How you see it, how I see it, and the way it is, perception is everything. And then your perception is based on your environment. If you think you're poor with no way out, it becomes your reality. And it's funny though, because I didn't really realize I was poor. I ain't gonna stop putting in air quotes, right? I didn't realize I was poor until I moved to the suburbs at 13. And I was just like, damn, like, yo, like, because I thought my man Derek ain't on here. He be checking in sometimes. Derek, and Jason Pastor Moody we had on here. You know, he had the suit on when the third grade.
He was in the 3 pieces. You thought they had it.
I thought they had it, yo. We was all in the same class, yo. Yo, Derek used to always get the brand new sneakers. We was all in the same class, but he laid around the corner from me. We was all in the same struggle. But I thought he was rich. I thought I was just all right. And then it's funny that you said what your mom told you, because my mom used to tell me all the time. She used to be like, you want to be average? And she used to make average sound so bad, yo. She's like, like, you just want to be average? She's like, you know, 70 is an average. You want to be average? And I was just like, damn, like, that should sound horrible.
Oh, gosh.
Let
me hit you with some holy water, Jesse.
So she was like, yo, she's like, yeah, you want to be average. And that always stuck in the back of my head. Like, yo, like, that's crazy how those things that you tell your kids manifest itself later on in life. Like, you be like, man, average is crazy. Like, I'm not really trying to be average. But then I think she was right. I think she was on to something. Like, why would you want to be average, man? I mean, I guess people do it that don't want to be average. They want to have the average life, whatever that means. But it just seems like.
But look at our culture. Average is okay. You know, when you go to public school, a lot of times, and clearly I ain't been in a while, and my kids ain't been, so maybe it has changed. But I remember when I was coming up, to be smart was corny. To be smart was lame. To be smart was, you know, like acting white. So a lot of intelligent children that's in that environment, going to what Vonnie was saying, would try to tone it down some.
Yeah, you know, people say that also. I didn't have that experience growing up. I was always in the top group. Maybe it's because, like I said, maybe my perception of things, right? Like I never was bullied. There's a couple people that try to bully me. We end up fighting, and that was it.
Deacon had them hands, y'all hear that? He wasn't scared. He had heart.
So it was, I had no choice. So it was right. But I feel like I don't feel like we was I don't feel like I never got that energy. I hear that all the time though. People, especially from us, like people saying like, "Yo, you wasn't smart, like being." I just never got that energy, and it was always like and maybe because I was outside, like I was doing regular kid stuff. I wasn't inside. You know what I'm saying? I was just, we went to school.
What I'm talking about is in school. In Milwaukee, nigga had them. I mean, Jesse's had them jokes. They get on you about being smart. You know, what you finna be a veterinarian? I mean, kids is cruel. Like, this could go in. Oh, you carrying books? Here, carry mine. Or, you know, they would just, kids was cruel. I witnessed that.
A lot of people say that. I didn't have that experience. I hear that a lot, especially at this quote unquote level. People that quote unquote made it to this level. I ain't gonna say quote unquote made it. People that have made it, that people, black people, they said like, you know, during school, like they were picked on for being smart and all. I just like I can't identify with that. Maybe I was the bully. I don't even know.
You know, you get a nerd or. No, you might be, you seem like you studying to be the police. You can't skip school with us, or, you know, little things like that. But again, your environment and then perception, because a lot of those kids, like Vonnie said, they heard from their parents, you ain't gonna be ish, you like your daddy, you gonna be locked up, this or that, and so they wouldn't achieve in school. Hopefully. And I think the call to action for our generation, me, you as parents, and all of those who are on as parents, is to make sure we pour into our children positive affirmations. And if you need help, guess what? Jesse done created a book for you, 12 affirmations for amazing kids. Buy it at www.thelittlebrownbiblestorybook.com. Or if you think the Huckabee's ice water is colder, go find it on Amazon. 12 affirmations for the amazing kid.
Yeah, what's the other one you got for the bad kids, the people with the baby kids?
Oh, stepping into good manners. All of it is on there. Let me put it on there. You know, we hustles. If it's something, and you know, this it ties into this about victimhood. I could have complained like, man, I got to give my son a book with a blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus, which I know to be false. Or I could have said, you know what? That's an opportunity. I bet I ain't the only one who's looking for something like this. A book that teaches your kids manners. A book that you could read with your kid, even if you don't read no other books with your kids at night, like bedtime story. One that you could read is the 12 affirmations for the amazing kid, because that's going to pump your kid up.
So you saw a need in the marketplace and you fulfilled it. You said you was looking for the book and you was like, why don't I create the book? And it's funny because this goes into the same perception and feeling the need. And now people always say like, yo, like I don't get into the Obama debates no more, right? I used to when he first got elected. And then people like, yo, he ain't do nothing for black people. I said the most important thing he did for black people was have a black family and just be in that office. Because like when we was growing up, if I asked you when you was a little kid, you probably like, ain't gonna be no black, or a teenager, ain't gonna be no black president. Like our kids don't have that barrier to imagination, man.
Yeah.
And so we don't even see, like, we haven't seen
The
what they're
full
gonna
effect of it.
affect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when they start getting in their 20s and 30s and 40s, like, what are they gonna be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, because at a certain point, all my son knew was a black president. He ain't know nothing different. Now now he know got, Trump, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so he grew up with that. He had 8 years of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that was normal to him. So he don't even got to think about, like, what is going to be like when they get 20, 30, 40. What are they going to be doing? I think it's going to be crazy. I mean, hopefully we don't kill ourselves as human before then. What Revelation say, bro? The good bishop?
I think them Huckabees would burn the world down before they put themselves in a subservient position like minorities. I don't think that the fragility, they'll nuke this piece. We already killing the environment as it is. I'm just gonna make sure that my soul is right with God. Whatever happened, I'll be ready. But that goes back to what you were saying about the victimhood, man. It's the same thing. Let's say you had a bad mother or a bad father. You could go through life blame, and people respond in different ways. Some people just perpetuate what has happened to them, and they terrible to their children or don't care, will man up type attitude. And then others will turn and say, I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be the best parent that I could be because I had a sucky parent and I know what that feels like. Again, it all comes down to choices, but we running short, man. We got refresh trip, ambition. So that kind of talks about ambition too.
Yeah. So, because just to let me put a button on it, just like people be like how did you get to where you come from? Like, because my mother was a teenager, had me in high school and all that type of stuff. I was like, yo, man, really, I never gave up on anything. I ain't gonna say anything, but I don't give up. And just my perception of the world, man. And she drilled that in me. Like, my mother used to work. She worked two and three jobs coming up. I ain't really see it like that. So I definitely had the cakes. I probably would have scared you a piece of cake, yo. A honey bun or something back in the day.
I was a smooth talker. I'd be your friend.
Yeah, I would have been a kid that would have gave you a honey bun, a piece of the honey bun, or a Drake cake or something. But yeah, man, I never was like I said, I really can't explain it. I just know I see myself. Some people call it arrogance, conceited, whatever people call it. I just see myself like I don't even think I'm halfway where I'm supposed to be at right now. You know what I mean?
I'm agree with that. That's why I've been on you. Like,
yeah, you definitely been on me, for years.
You
right?
Got some talents, but you on your way though. That's the thing. We all are on our way, as long as we still walking towards some kind of purpose or goal, and that goes towards ambition, man. Yeah. It's when you just stop and you just there's a difference between contentment, I learned, and complacent. Being complacent is again, you have this perception that you content and you good and you don't need to do anymore, but the reality is you are dangerously close to the edge of something. That's why to be complacent has a negative connotation. To be content is your perception and your reality. No matter what I'm going through, my perception and my reality is going to be I'm good. I'm good with whatever I got. The Apostle Paul say, babe, I know how to be cool when I got it, and I know how to be cool without it. But he don't have this misconception that I'm cool now because I think I got it. In my head, I got it, but I really ain't got it, and I'm borderline about to get evicted or something like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I think we probably could skip ambition, yo. I think we're gonna go to the need. We was talking before we got on. We're talking about the need of a refresh, a rejuvenating trip. Because I just got back from a trip and I was like, yo, bro, I'm still like, I don't feel like recharge. That's what we call it, recharging trip. And I know you take a recharging trip every year, right? How many you take a year? Two?
I call it refresh. I try to take 2 a year. One in the beginning and one near the end. And it go to that concept that I think the first place I heard it was the hustle. Work hard, play harder. You could get burnt out, man, and it's not good for your mental health. And mine started because my wife, I used the word continence, biblical term, my facial expression. I was just grumpy, fussing. She like, yeah, you need to get out of the house. Let me book this trip for you, Jesse.
She booked it. She booked it for you. So your first trip, she booked it for you,
Yeah.
and that was an undisclosed location, or you could say what location that was.
I typically come to Jamaica, but she books all those trips. That's not my strength. I don't have the patience to sit on the phone. I don't even have the patience to search for great prices at some point or do the comparison and all of that stuff. I'm just going to drop it down. When I see what I want, what your boy say, I seize you and I want you.
Yeah.
We can do this the easy way.
Right. We could do it the wrong way. So you get the so you do so, and what is that? Tell the people what is a recharge trip. What do you do on your recharge trip? Because I was saying before we got on the air, I was saying I think going forward, like in the 20th century, if you're an entrepreneur, business owner, I think that might be a I don't know if that could be an option. You know what I'm saying? Because your mind be racing all the time, right? So what do you do on your recharge trip? You said refresh. What do you?
Yeah, I use. It's like hitting refresh on your computer every now and then when you got a bunch of windows open on your computer and all kind of stuff. It started running slow, and you got to close everything out, shut it down, or restart it, and then come back and it's moving quicker. So my first trip, man, was with purpose. Like I need time to get away from doing the Huckabees and build a vision in my day job. And I need time to focus on being reflective. Where am I at in life right now? What is it that God would want me to do? And look, to be honest, this might sound crazy, but I need to go somewhere quiet so the Lord can speak to me where I ain't got all of these distractions. I ain't got to go here. I ain't got to worry about the kids here. And so I took some themed books, some that was going to help me in my career and some that was like self-help books. And my purpose was, even when I went there, like I'm going to read all of these joints. Nothing while I'm here is going to distract me. I'm still going to live a good life. I ain't got to worry about getting up, going to lunch or trying to do an excursion or getting dressed because it's time to go to dinner. And for any husband that has gone on a trip with his wife, you understand they have their own agenda and you got to just fit in and dress and you got to get in the steak restaurant and you got to have a collared shirt and some khakis and all of that crap. So I went with purpose on my trip. Like I'm going to recharge, but I'm also going to learn something. I'm not going to just do nothing. Of course, I have my times where I was just sitting by the pool or in the pool quiet and doing nothing. But the other time I'm sitting there reading, enjoying myself. And I tell my son, if your company ain't the best company you ever had, then you got problems. That means you don't like yourself to some extent. You need to.
I thought you were saying something else. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were saying something else. I thought you were saying that the company as in the job. You saying your company with yourself, the self company.
No. I mean your presence.
Your
if you can't be alone and you need other people, you need to figure out why. To have a good time, why do I need other people? It is very it's very empowering because people not accustomed to people traveling by themselves. So people be looking and people ask questions and want to talk to you and things like that. And that could be a distraction too. At some point, you got to say, okay, this is what it is. Yeah, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, but you know what? I actually came to read this book. I'm going to try to finish this book. I appreciate you, though. I'll holler at you later if I see you.
Yeah, and Corey wrote, I went to South Carolina, slept on a friend's couch for a few days, and it worked wonders as far as recharging, basically time away from my everyday grind.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I gotta start thinking about that. Talk that over with the family because I think that I enjoyed the trip, but it was I don't necessarily feel refreshed and recharged per se. You know what I
mean? Be careful, preacher. Somebody on here now. I ain't gonna call out their name, but I'm okay for you. You know that the good old deacon need to recharge sometimes too. Now, especially I call it hustle money. You got your income, and then you got something that comes from you being creative and using your God-given gifts, and it adds benefits to the family.
Wow.
Hustle money, I don't have to go get hustle money. My obligation is done with this. That's part of my ambition. So if my ambition has brought in some hustle money, then I should be able to spend that money to fuel my ambitions. And that's why I take books that's going to give me ideas about, well, how can you earn it? How can you do it more?
Yeah, let me tell people to text 347-644-2260 with suggestions and questions. I'll be forgetting that we live and that this is probably going to be on a podcast too. I'm she put I'm exhausted. So I put I gotta remember that. So we coming to the end, man. Do we have any questions? So we got 10 minutes, so we gotta end promptly at before 60 minutes, so we can put this on the IGTV. Do y'all have any questions for us, suggestions, people that are checking in? And thanks everybody for checking in, man. It's always appreciated. I know y'all could be doing anything, but it's always appreciated. The numbers looking good. Y'all are increasing in the following and the length that we're on. Y'all are staying. And shout out to the replay people too. I know everybody don't catch it live, but there's a large percent. It's about half. It's about the majority of people catching on the replay, which is interesting. Yeah. So do y'all have any questions? Because we're gonna close out next week. If you want to, you know what? Let's do it like this. I just thought about this on the fly. This is the live joint. Next week we're gonna be reviewing Smart Cuts. So if you want to read that along with us and come and discuss it in the chat room, or give us your takeaways, or you want to give us takeaways prior to it, the number is 347-644-2260. You could text like excerpts from it and we can read it online. If you have questions or whatever, just text it to us. Hit the Cashapp. The Cashapp is $
Invest in the Kingdom.
Invest in the Kingdom 2008 $ The King Bingham. That's right. The King Bingham, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But if y'all don't have anything, let's see what the comments are. And thanks everybody for commenting in real time too. That's dope. I really like the lives way better than the podcast personally.
And like hopefully y'all getting blessed with some jewels. Y'all picking up some of these jewels that's falling. But we definitely appreciate y'all. And we only gonna get better.
2 minute summary of what we got coming with the IP and the black business and all. Don't give out the IP, but let them know we got something coming. What do we have coming?
We got something coming. We want y'all to support it and tell your people to support it. But we're going to create something that's going to help trigger you in spreading the word by word of mouth. And it's something that's going to benefit our community. And it'll be a great example to show y'all, those of you that have been following us, how reading these books can help you. Because we got it from a book. Contagious.
Yep. And we got Too Contagious through Nipsey Hussle. Well, that's how I got Too Contagious. You read it before that, right? Or nah?
Nope. I can't even front. I saw his book list. I was like, okay, most of these I read. I ain't read this one. Let me add this to the list. Now we just need a Jesse to file the trademark. Once we file the trademark, trust me.
I'm the Jesse that's supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, he's the Jesse that's supposed to be doing it.
I'm going to do it this week. I was out last week.
We thought we was going to deliver it to y'all, but he was on his recharge trip, but he forgot to plug the cord all the way in. So him and his partner, neither one of them Jesse's recharged.
Thank you, cuz, for checking in. Thank you for all the information y'all blessed with. We trying to do our thing. We trying to do our thing. And people be watching,
and man. Invest $15-$20 in ADA Bitcoin.
Oh yeah. They had a rough week.
Each week.
They had the week before last, it was a rough week. And I actually brought some physical silver and physical gold. So the money that I normally would put into the Bitcoin, I actually put into physical precious metals that week.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, but all right, you gotta take us out in prayer, brother.
All right. Heavenly Father, we just come to you at this time, thanking you for being the awesome God that you are, Lord. We just thank you for all of the blessings. We thank you for your patience, your grace, and your mercy. We just pray that you will guide us, continue to mold us to be the men, especially for DeTravius and I, but also the people, for all of those who may tune into this podcast. Mold and shape us into the people that you would have us to be. Help us to find our purpose, to walk in it, and to be content with life. In your precious son, Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And
54.
54. All right, so give them the book, the little brown book. They can get all the books from here, right? Now that's just the Bible story book.
You could get all of the books. You could get the merch.
So we gotta read it. www.thelittlebrownbiblestorybook.com.
You get it all there. And my mom hustles she got some dope. I keep telling her to make me a Wakanda set, but she got some spirit beads. You know them beads that people be wearing around their wrist. I've never been a bead person, but she got all kinds of dope designs there. So y'all support Black business.
And I'm gonna give you this. Like I said, if you use this link, the social, social.thebethea.com/credit. This is an ebook. If you use that link, you will get I think it's 25% discount. It's an ebook that I ran across, that I purchased the rights to, and I'm giving it to y'all. Again, like I don't suggest you go out and pay people thousands of dollars to work on your credit, because it's not. Most of that stuff is, if it's legit, you ain't gonna get it off anyway. So don't even fall for that trick. But if it's not legal, if it's old stuff, it's formulas, it's all a whole bunch of tips. 101 tips to raise your credit. And thanks again, Vonnie, Leslie, Kimberly, Corey, King Bingham. I see you came up. Who was? Yeah, thanks everybody for commenting, and we'll see y'all next week. All right, peace.
Ninja.
Oh, you gotta take the song. What song we ain't have it queued up?
We got it queued up. We stay ready.
So we got the we got like I said, we gotta get that drop. I gotta get my Russians on it.
Yeah, you got the files, Jesse.
Yeah.
We waiting on him, y'all. Y'all pray DeTravius have a good week, a productive week. Peace out.
All right, peace. Hey, buddy.
Down.